The word witch originally means wise one, and this is what people try to aspire to be. They try to learn the wisdom of nature. They try to learn the meaning behind things.
Molly Moncrief, lecturer in occult subjects.
I had to work and learn it the hard way by checking my findings with all the ancient writers on the occult from time immemorial. And I found that it tallies, it always does.
I'd say to a person who really wanted to know what was the spirit of witchcraft, that they'll learn more by, say, going out on the downs at midnight and listening to the wind in the trees and looking at the full moon. They'll learn more of the spirit of witchcraft, the real spirit of witchcraft in that way, than they will by reading any amount of books.
There is no basis for that view.
But what this means to us is the masculine and feminine powers of nature. They're symbols, magical images, and by means of our imagination we can make a real contact with these cosmic forces, the forces of nature, the forces of life.
And in a wood at midnight, on the night of the full moon, Doreen Valiente carried out her ritual, hoping that in this experiment, never before tried in front of cameras, some psychic manifestations might appear on the film.
There is no basis for that view.
My first experience was with my mother. She was suffering from cancer of the throat, and Alex was visiting us, and he said, all right, we'll see what we can do about it. And we switched the light off and sat there for about 10 minutes in silence. And what appeared to be a ball of fire went across the room towards my mother. And later she said she experienced a feeling of being tilted backwards. But she got frightened and stopped it. But that was the first experience of physical fire, of being able to see it.
I have various spirits who help me with the work. The particular spirit who is helping me with the professor and with the cancer work is Michael, who is, I suppose, my familiar spirit. He helps me, been helping me now for 5-6 years, very reliable.
Nor are maleficent witches unknown today.
I have various spirits who help me with the work.
There is no basis for that view.
He usually talked very freely to me, surprisingly so. In fact, on one occasion, I went to see a charmer. I was a complete stranger to him. He invited me into his house, sat me down in his parlour, looked at me very hard, and said, "You can do it, can't you?"
Local fields. In 1875, in Long Compton, a village only a little way away,
I have various spirits.
Down to Bodmin Moor, I've known about 17 charmers. It may be purely coincidental, they're nearly all men.
The man who tried to get in touch with the spirit world by an elaborate ritual of conjuration, drawing circles and lighting candles and hallowing and so on. This was, as I say, a rather intellectual thing to do. It was very popular at the universities, and I suppose from the point of view of Jacobean undergraduates was rather the counterpart of modern drug-taking as the stock student temptation.
I have various spirits.
There is no basis for that view.
Well, when I was a child, I always felt much closer to a great life force when I was out of doors. Far closer than when I was in the four walls of any church.
There is no basis for that view.
Did so. And it turned out to be a meeting of people who...
Well, I should say avoid certain kinds of groups. Certain kinds of groups. Of course, I know people are lonely and they want to get together and they want to share radically at a deep level. And this is what starts it. And they want to be real, these encounter groups. But I would say to them, still stick to your very simple practicalities. Just the ordinary human life and human personal relationships.
There is no basis for that view.